Welcome to Real Food, and today I wanted to share with you a very easy recipe how to enjoy this fantastic grain. Well, it's not actually a grain, it's a seed called buckwheat. You probably heard about buckwheat, and it's available in supermarkets these days. That it's a superfood, it's a health food, but not everybody knows how to prepare it very easily and quickly. So all you need is this roasted buckwheat, and the proportion here is 1 to 2. So for 1 part of buckwheat seed, you need 2 parts of water. So this is a very easy bit. So for example, I've got 100 grams of my buckwheat here, and I would eventually use 200 milliliters of water, and I would boil it until water evaporates. But the most important thing, which is actually often not mentioned in other recipes, is that buckwheat has an outer shell, and this outer shell can produce a bitter taste, and it's also there's also other impurities in that shell. And what I do, I actually bring my buckwheat to boil, as you can see now in this video. I bring it to boil in basically any quantity of water. Can you see the water is getting muddy, and it's muddy. And it's got slightly brownish, pinkish tint to it. So this water, I'll bring it to boil. It will help me open up the external shell of the seed, and I will drain this water. I will wash my seeds again in cold water, and then I will start again with fresh water, 200 milliliters, and I will bring it to boil, and then you'll see it will be beautiful. It will be lovely. The seeds will still retain their shape, and it will be soft, it will be fragrant, it will be absolutely fantastic. So that's how I do it, and I recommend that you also do wash it like this, and you boil it first, and then you drain this first round of boiling. I know it makes it longer, and the preparation process becomes more complicated, but it's only one additional step, but you will see huge difference in taste and in quality of your porridge, or whatever you want to do with it later. So it's beginning to boil now. So as it begins to boil, I'm just going to drain this water, and then I'm going to add 200 milliliters of fresh, clean, cold water, and then I will start my final stage of cooking. So here we are. I now drained my water, my first round water from my first round of boiling. So it's now, you can see it's clean water. It's 200 milliliters, and I've also added herbs and spices. I've added cardamoms, I've added cloves, and I added black pepper, the whole peppercorns. So these will remain in my pan while it's cooking, and then eventually, when it's ready, you can remove those spices gradually, well, yourself with the spoon, or you can leave them. And if you end up having those spices in your mouth, you can either take it out then, or you can leave it if you've got high levels of tolerance for spices. So, but this is how I normally prepare it, and then your buckwheat becomes really fragrant. It's got all those nuances from cardamoms, from peppers, from cloves. But don't overdo it. You see, I've literally just put 1 clove, 3 or 4 peppercorns, and just 2 of these whole cardamom pods. So what you do, if you open the pod and if you grind the seeds inside it, you probably just need 1 for a small portion. But because they're whole, I've added 2. They're just going to be easier to remove later. So it will start boiling now, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to reduce heat, and I'm going to leave it on small heat, on a small amount of heat, for it to cook. So, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like. So water will evaporate, and it will look absolutely gorgeous. Okay, here we are. So it's only been literally like 5 minutes or so, and look, it's already All the seeds have opened up. It looks gorgeous. And you know what? If you don't want to cook it, overcook it, you can drain some excess water actually, because to me, this already looks like it's kind of ready to eat. But there's still some water left. So this water will evaporate or will be absorbed, but it may become a bit more mushy. So it depends if you don't want it to reach that stage. And I think partly it's because I pre-cooked it, so I pre-boiled it. So for example, then the official ratio is for 1 to 2, right? 1 part of buckwheat to 2 parts of water. But because I pre-cooked it and some water has already been absorbed, you can reduce the amount of water, right? If you like it, if you like each grain to be firm and sort of and feel the firmness of your seeds when you eat it. So, but in this case, I think I'm just going to drain this excess water, and it will be ready. And what I'm thinking I'm going to have mushrooms. It's going to be a nice vegetarian dish. I've got my mushrooms here, so I've fried my mushrooms in butter, so they will go on top. So I'm thinking something like that will make a really nice meal. So here we are. So I now drained my excess water, and as you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's got this wonderful texture where individual grains are still in good. You know, you can still feel them in your mouth, and they will melt as you eat them. So you can now add salt and other things to taste. And what I'm going to add, I'm going to add my mushrooms. My mushrooms are cooked in butter. So, and I've got another video on how to cook mushrooms. So butter will also add additional flavor to this dish. So here we are. You can have them just like that on top, or you can mix them together, buckwheat and mushrooms. I mean, look, this makes a really nice vegetarian snack. So it looks really gorgeous. But I'm thinking also maybe to add beans. I've got sprouting beans which I don't want to waste, so I'm going to gently heat them up, and they will also be an additional element in my final dish, which I'm going to eat. So here we are. I've got my bean sprouts, so I'm going to gently heat. I'm going to heat them up, fry them gently in butter that's left from my mushrooms, to make them a little softer, so that they mix well with my buckwheat. And another thing I wanted to show you is that I've actually made a lot of buckwheat, and I've taken some of it and I put it for later in this cup. So I mean, you can store it in your fridge for a day or two, but make sure you close it, or maybe, you know, if I'm still hungry, I will eat it. But I just didn't want to have too much buckwheat, because sometimes I cook too much and then I end up throwing it away. So in this case, I don't want to throw it, so I've just put it aside in this cup, and I'll probably keep it till tomorrow. But my bean sprouts are beginning to warm up, so I'm just going to gently heat them up, and I will have them also with my buckwheat. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it was an interesting idea for you, and we'll chat again soon in another video.